So Dr. Ahmad Abdul Hai Sahab is the Managing Director and Chief Consultant, High Medical Care and Research Institute. He is the Director General Surgery and Head of Academic Courses, Paras HMRI Hospital. He is the Chairman of High Foundation. He is the Chief Editor, ASI Textbook of Surgery, Publishers McGraw-Hill. He is the past National President Association of Surgeons of India, ASI. ASI is the National Association of over 15,000 Indian surgeons and one of the largest bodies of surgeons in the world with headquarters at Chennai. He is the former Vice President of Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, Indian section. He is the former Vice President of International College of Surgeons, Indian section. And it's a great honor for us if I'm going to share his whole profile. Just give me a second. I'll just give you a glance of his whole profile. So it's so full of achievements. God bless him always, because he is always so busy doing something or other. And that's why his whole profile is full of achievements. Are you able to look at his profile? See, I have his profile that starts from here, Dr. Ahmad Abdul Hai Sahab, and it goes like this. And I'm very proud of Dr. Ahmad Abdul Hai Sahab that he has spared his valuable time, and we are honored with his presence here in this doctor's felicitation program. So with the due honor and respect, I would like to invite Dr. Ahmad Abdul Hai Sahab, and I request him to kindly bless us with his golden words. Dr. Ahmad Abdul Hai Sahab. Dr. Sahab, you are, I think, mute.
Oh, really?
Yes, now audible.
Are you audible? Am I audible now?
Yes, now you are audible, sir.
Okay. Dr. Halima, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and honor for me to be able to address you today. And before I talk about the health scenario in India, which has been the topic which is allotted to me, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Halima. What a wonderful job she has been doing. The COVID-19 has not affected her. I think it has stimulated her to go do more and more. And look now, she has got someone from Singapore, someone from Canada, so Kenya, Dr. Imtiaz from England, small people like me from Patna, all of them contributing to a common cause. I congratulate you, madam. I think you are the Anandibai Joshi of our modern times. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We have had 3 very beautiful lectures. Dr. Mahesh gave a very good talk on COVID, the lack of activity, and Dr. Kibos, God bless him, he talked very nicely about the collective responsibility which we all face. And I must congratulate Dr. Ram, because he talked of a subject which we as doctors usually don't pay attention to, about the business and the financial aspects of this disease. Now, you see, there's an old saying that man is a social animal. And how are we going to treat COVID? Social distancing. We don't even want to show our face, put a mask on your face so that the other guy can't look at you. This is something unnatural for an average human being, to be antisocial, to be maintain a distance, to hide your face. But unfortunately, you see, we have been tampering with nature so much that today the whole world has to pay a price for this tampering. After all, this world has continued on for thousands of years. But at the same time, one fact has to be understood, that disease and viruses are nothing new. The fact that they are able to mutate is a, a property given to them so that they can adjust to changing times. And if a small virus, which is so small that you have to need a electron microscope to see it, can adjust to change, can mutate, why can't we as human beings mutate? So if we have to be maintain social distancing for a little while, we have to do it. We have to hide our face. Let us do it, and then beat this virus. The problem with COVID-19 is that despite all the long talk which we tend to give, we still know very little about the disease, how exactly this virus is affecting. What is the pathogenesis of this virus? Which are organ? No, we know that it affects the lungs. Even just now, before 2 hours back, I saw the HRCT of a patient. Both the lungs gone. Only about 1/5 of one lung functioning. Now we know the effect, but why? Why is what is it doing to the coagulopathy? What is it doing to the other systems? And what happens in the post-COVID scenario? We have seen patients who have recovered from COVID, and yet when you talk to them, they feel as if they are in a different world because they feel weak, they are not able to eat, they're not able to socialize. So we have to give a fight, and the fight must be on a scientific basis. We can defeat this virus only if we fight it scientifically. The second part is that we must realize that this virus is affecting the entire world today. And we cannot distinguish, differentiate between people. I think Dr. Amrul mentioned about a boy in Kenya, another boy in, say, Canada. Now, we have to make efforts. It's a very difficult task, but we have to give this importance that every human being deserves our share of love and hope in fighting this great menace. What I'm hinting is, as today, among the various features available to fight COVID, among the antiviral drugs, and people talk of colchicine, and people talk of immunomodulators, I think the only thing which is perhaps most likely to succeed are vaccines. Today, unfortunately, the distribution of vaccines has become a big issue. The amount of vaccine going to Kenya, percentage wise, would be maybe 1% of the vaccine which is available in the United States or England. If we believe that humanity, all human beings, are the children of one Adam and one Eve, if we understand that it's not that if we are able to wipe out vaccine from one Western country and we'll have a source of a virus in, say, Afghanistan, the world will be safe. No, world will not be safe. So we must realize that the entire world has to fight this disease, that we all have to take up this challenge, and we have to give the respect and love to everyone equally and uniformly, to humanity as a whole. I want to end with an optimistic note. Although today, when we see every day, Dr. Mahesh mentioned, don't look at the news because every day you say 2,000 people died there and 1,500 people are dying here. But, uh, but we still have to end with an optimistic note because this is not the first time this has happened. Viruses have been killing humanity for long. We had smallpox. If you look at history, there was a time when smallpox, it was a virus again. We have to look when diseases like plague, even in recent times, tuberculosis, not a virus, but tuberculosis caused by bacteria, was killing people. So this will continue to happen. But today, humanity is stronger because scientifically it's stronger. we know more about the human body and we know more about how to control it. But if we give a united fight, I am sure humanity will win in the end and this virus will be controlled. But it should not give you the impression that once COVID is over, it will be uh, a game changer and we'll have no problems. The problems will continue. Another virus will come, new mutants will come. And this is the time now to build an SOP that if a virus comes, the whole of humanity will fight it unitedly as a whole. Dr. Halima wanted me to talk about the health scenario in India. I wish I could say that things are very rosy. Unfortunately, they are not rosy. The first thing is that health has not received the importance which it deserves. If you spend 2% of GDP on healthcare and then talk of how to improve health, I think there's a bit of hypocrisy. We must improve our expenditure on healthcare. Things are happening. This year's budget has shown a little improvement, but this has to go on constantly. And number two, that in India, for instance, where we still have so much, about 50% of people living below the poverty line, we must do some mechanism to take care of their health. And one mechanism which I have been suggesting for a long, long time is that some sort of a compromised health insurance scheme. Compromise in the sense that, say, we will say every family will get 5 lakhs rupees for healthcare. This will be cashless. They can go to any hospital and up to 5 lakhs rupees can be given. This amount can be increased with time. The 5 lakhs today, it can become 10 lakhs maybe after 2 years and so on. But how will you manage this? The insurance companies, if I have to pay a premium, if I am earning well, thank God, then my premium may be 100 rupees, but the gentleman who pulls a rickshaw and his premium may be 1/10 of this. But if you take the whole thing overall and make out a composite plan, I am sure that this thing can work. I once again thank Dr. Halima for giving me this opportunity, and I am very grateful for meeting such wonderful people. God bless you. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Your words of wisdom, your words of experience of your lifetime. And although I'm not a person from the medical field, but today I'm feeling very honored and proud of myself among so many doctors and the life saviors. We were always proud of our profession, teaching profession, but today I'm feeling that first we have
We'll
to
give
be
you an
alive.
honorary doctorate.
Thank you very much. No, but today I'm realizing first person has to be alive to learn something. So doctors are the saviors. Thank you very much, sir. Now we are going to have a person who is naturopathist and Dr. Sarvananji. I welcome you on behalf of ACE and EduFam. And Dr. Sarvananji provides remedial solutions to illness. And he is the founder of Accelerated Healing Methods, AHM. Accelerated healing method is a therapy method that brings spontaneous or quick relief at emotional, mental, and physical level. He is also a psychotherapist and he uses systematic family constellation that is called ICTC, body talk, solution focus, lifeline therapy, and many more. He is an energy medicine scientist, and I request Dr. Ram to kindly focus some more on Dr. Sarvanan's contribution and achievements. Over to you, Dr. Ram.
Good evening, all. It is again a happy moment for me to speak about Dr. Saravanan, very good friend and mentor for me in Singapore. And he is doing a great job. He is in the alternative medicine, naturopath physician, graduated from Australia, and further developed his education in US. And he is doing the great job for the community who wanted to use the naturopath practices as well as naturopath mediated therapies. And he is also serving in many association, and he is providing the community talks for the health and wellness well-being. How do the people can address the value for their routine lifestyle, which are giving the great values for their um, achievement as well as recover from the sickness and all. So we are working together for many areas, not only the professional as well as the social movements, and we are together for serving for the needy people or their requirements in many activities or many talks or seminars, webinars, and workshops. So I am very happy that today we have him with us. I welcome Dr. Saravanan to come on stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear friends and all the doctors and chief guest, Dr. Ram and Dr. Halima.